What is up, YouTube? Back in another video. In today's video, we're going over my opinion on MW3 Season 3's entire update. I'm going over everything minus Warzone because I do not play Warzone. So we're going over everything multiplayer and zombies related. So let's start off it with saying about the Battle Pass. I know I made a video going over everything you get in the Battle Pass last night. But I'm at 49% right now, so I've been grinding pretty hard, level 488. And we're gonna go into some other stuff that I've done over the last 24 hours. I will say that if you were looking at this battle pass from the perspective of a non-Black Cell owner, then it's kind of lackluster. But to be fair, in my personal opinion, I think all of the battle passes since pretty much since Black Cell's been a thing, if you don't buy Black Cell, have been pretty lackluster. There's been one or two items in the battle passes that are really good, but majority of the time they're pretty bad. Now, if you look at it from the perspective of Black Cell, I think this is probably the best Black Cell when it comes to just the amount of items you get that are good quality items that we've ever seen on MW3 so far. Obviously, I don't know if this compares to some of the MW2 ones because I'd have to look at them side by side since it's been a while. But I would say this has the best Black Cell in this game so far because pretty much all of the Black Cell skins are super dope. So, for example, we got Stasis, right? Then you have also, you're going to get Fenyor, which is a Norse mythology skin. You're also getting Snoop Dogg skins. You get this really dope, like ski mask looking skin. Then you get probably one of my favorites so far in the entire season, like this skin right here. I want to say it's supposed to be like Assassin's Creed-esque style reference, because this is the same type of cloak that an Assassin's Creed assassin would wear, which I think is really dope. And then you got some really dope ones like these two over here. This one's probably the least good one. I think yesterday's video I said this was a good one, but now that I've looked at it a couple times, compared to the other ones, not really all that special. But overall, and then that's not including the weapons too, by the way. I mean, some of the weapons in here are some of the best ones. Yeah, and we've had some new guns for tracers, which is nice. I think the last 2D seasons we've had that have Black Cell have had the same sets of weapons for tracers. And so this one having different guns, having tracers, is a nice touch. Now, that's the Battle Pass half of the discussion. So let's go into some of the other things. And I think the biggest elephant in the room that we're going to talk about is the weapons, specifically the new weapons. Here you can see I have the Morris. I have the Gladiator, or as I'm going to be probably referencing it throughout my rest of the year on this game, the butt plug melee weapon, because that's basically what the fuck this thing is. And then we obviously have the new SMG as well. Now, let's go over some of the things about these guns that I think are really cool, and some of the things that I think are really, really bad. So, first off, the new SMG. Not the strongest SMG in the game. I've used it for quite a bit of time now, because I have every camo unlocked for both MP and zombies from this thing. By the way, some camos are bugged. So currently on the new SMG, Borealis and Interstellar are saying they're unlocked through the completed challenges, but they're actually still physically locked. So we'll have to wait for a future update, probably in the next couple of weeks, to probably send out an update that will just unlock it for people that have grinded for it. But this, for no one that doesn't know, the FGX Horos, it's supposed to be the MP11 from Advanced Warfare. At least I think that's what they're going for. This also could be like a modernized Mach 11 type of situation. I really don't know what they're really going for, because in Advanced Warfare, the MP11 was supposed to be like a futuristic MP7, but this game has an MP7 because of MW2. So I don't know if they were going for like a futuristic looking MP11 or MP7, sorry, or if they're going for the actual MP11 from Advanced Warfare. It could be either one of those things. But one of the cool features about this gun is that the iron sights move, and we can kind of showcase that here for you guys. So the iron sights move with the gun. Now, it's kind of hard to see in this like private match little shooting range thing. It's easier to notice this when you're in game. But when you're using iron sights on this thing, you can kind of see how the back object, the little circle reticle, is moving, but the end of the gun is stationary. And so what that means is you can find yourself having some really interesting firefights where you could be shooting, and your circle or your main line is completely off center, but it's still like pinpoint accurate because it's just a visual thing. And now for my OGs out there that I mentioned, that I'm sure some of you guys that are OGs that play like Advanced Warfare Ghost, IW, Black Ops 3, 2, 1, Modern Warfare 2 and 3, the originals, so on and so forth. These older CODs had that as a common thing for every gun in the game. And so if you go back to like something like Advanced Warfare, for example, you can take notice a lot of guns. You can do like really cool like jumps and wall climbs and kind of like aiming and turning on a corner, and your optics will be unlined, but you're still hitting the target. And it adds for such a realistic but fun arcadey vibe to the game, right? Because if you ever have shot a gun in real life, say you're doing like airsoft for something or whatever it may be, if you're in the military or police, when you're moving around shooting a lot of times, if you're moving around a lot, your guns, iron sights, aren't going to be straight on. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be off-centered a little bit. They're going to be not exactly in line because that's just not how physics work, right? When you're moving a gun, one part of that gun's going to be moving while maybe the other side isn't, especially if you're someone who's not as trained to keep it steady and so on and so forth. It's a little thing that I really I really appreciate because I love the little details like that, especially in Call of Duty when they do finite details. I don't like the big changes when it comes to realism, but I like adding little teasers of realism. I think that does really, really well. So overall, this SMG is pretty good, other than obviously the camo being bugged out. Now the Morris, on the other hand, this is everything I could have wanted and more. This thing is amazing in every single fucking way. Now, doubt it, it doesn't visually look as close to the original Morris or sound like the original Morris. But I gave it some leniency because technically the Atlas Corporation, or the Atlas Corporation, I think is what it's called in Advanced Warfare, if I remember correctly, technically, and lore reasons, doesn't actually exist yet, because Atlas Corporation wasn't developed, I think, until 2033 in the Call of Duty universe. And AW, I think, is also in a separate like timeline compared to what currently we're in. But this game has now reverted that timeline, hinting at maybe the fact that the Atlas Corporation will be helping Makarov somewhere down the line. Maybe an early version of Atlas will be forming sooner than the storyline protests. The reason we know that Atlas made these weapons is because on the Battle 27, from screenshots in the trailers, does say Atlas Corporation as the developers of that weapon. So that would put in tune the Morris would be also classified as Atlas Corporation. But this would be a modernized version. This won't be a futuristic version, so it makes sense that it wouldn't be a railgun. So in the Advanced Warfare era, this is considered a railgun, right? It's a one-shot railgun, and you just rechamber it every time you're shooting. In this game, they classified it as an anti-matter rifle. It's what it's classified in this game, which is kind of like a railgun in a way. Anti-matter rifles have been, or anti-material rifles, if you want to be more specific, but some people call them antimatter, the same thing pretty much. They've been around for over 100+ years. Actually, since World War I and II, we've seen antimatter rifles. Usually are heavier rifles that usually shooting super heavy rounds. You often see them be classified as tank destroyers. Like we've seen that back in World War II. We saw a bunch of tank destroyers that were single-shot, heavy-duty snipers like 50 cals. I think the 50 cal is actually technically classified as an antimatter rifle as well, just because of how powerful of a rifle it is. And oftentimes, you don't need multiple rounds for those things to take out whatever your target you're taking out of. So, again, that's what's classified in this game. So, technically, it is as close as it's going to get to a Morris in this game. Obviously, if we get a futuristic title down the road, we can see a more accurate depiction of the Morris again. Though, to be fair, they could have done it because, again, if you look at Vanguard had the EM1 laser gun, and that was a straight-up copy and paste of EM1 from Advanced Warfare in World War II. So very well they could have done it, but I guess this wasn't what they were going for. Plus, the gunsmith would have been a little odd with the Morris, because the Morris was not designed with the gunsmith in mind. now that we've talked about the gunsmith aspect, we're going to talk about some of the negatives of the Morris in this game. So right now, what I'm running on the Morris is, in my opinion, the best build you can possibly get with the sniper. Without hurting its ADS speed, without hurting its rechambering speed, and while still keeping that 90% one-shot ratio that I've been seeing. I've got about 4 hit markers out of this gun so far on multiplayer, out of probably over 300 plus kills with this thing so far. So that's pretty good average when it comes to the one-shot capabilities. But there's some very odd choices with the Morris. So the Morris has a couple different barrels. The default barrel is probably the closest to the original Morris sniper barrel. But there is some futuristic barrels in here that you probably have seen already as I'm going through these. Like this one right here, this downfall light barrel, that's a super futuristic looking version of the barrel. And then obviously this tone heavy barrel as well is very futuristic. So if you're all for a visual look, these might be better choices. But the default barrel itself is pretty accurate. The scope is pretty good. I will say the Morris in this game's default scope is too zoomed in. So I believe this in-game scope is like a 6 or 7 times zoom, so it's not too much zoom. Like it's still good for quick scoping, but if I remember correctly, the original Morris only had like a 4 or 5 times default scope. Like it was basically a miniature or a little bit larger ACOG than what we have in this game. So like if you chopped off like maybe about 5 to 6 inches off that front of that scope, that's what we would have had on the original Morris. But it's not too bad. They have the original scope optic. I'll show you guys this. So it's kind of the original scope optic. The only thing that's different with this scope is the top of the scope. That black line coming up and down from the center. That top one would not be there, right? It would just be the bottom 2, or the middle 2, and then the bottom one, and then that little like black tiny line to indicate to make an X or a plus symbol. That would have been cut off. It would have just been the 3 black lines, one up, one from the side, and one from the other side. That would have been more closer to the original, but for the most part, it's pretty good. And it sounds sort of like the Morris. It's got the electricity, which was one of the well-known things about the Morris. The only thing that doesn't look super good about the Morris in this game specifically is the rechambering sector of the gun. So you can see here, the back of this gun, where the bullet gets chambered. I could be wrong, but I played a lot of AW, and I could have sworn, if I remember correctly, from AW is side reloaded, so it reloaded from the right-hand side, so your character wouldn't pull back the bolt and stick the bullet down in the chamber. He would pull back the bolt, and then the bullet would go he would put it on the side, kind of like a lever action, right? It would put it through the side, and then it would be loaded. I could be wrong. I might download AW again to check that to verify, but I'm 99% sure that it was a side reloading, because I'm pretty sure the Morris had a solid frame. The entire, from end barrel to the stock, was completely solid, one straight line. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Let me know down below if you've played AW recently, if it's like that or not. I mean, I could be just talking out my ass when it comes to that. But overall, pretty good. The Morris does currently have a bug. So zombies is fine for the Morris, but unfortunately the multiplayer is bugged, sort of, I guess, because now it shows 1. So earlier when I was playing, it wasn't counting any of the Morris dot sight the headshots. It wasn't counting any of them, but apparently now it counted 1. So this could be bugged. I wouldn't put a whole lot of points into hopefully getting this thing unlocked anytime soon. As for priceless, I don't know if it's bugged, because obviously I'm still forged. But if somehow you get forged unlocked and you are still, if it's bugged for priceless, let me know down below so I can see if I can add that to my post that I posted to Sledgehammer about the guns being currently bugged. After today's update, or yesterday's update I should say, we also got the melee weapon, the Gladiator. Nothing too special to go over with the Gladiator. It's kind of a default. There's not much to talk about it. It's just a melee weapon. It's quick. This might be a nice alternative to the Karambit. So if you're a speed runner, like if you're someone who likes to run melees for speeding around the map super fast, this might be your new option because this makes you run pretty fast. I still don't know if it's faster than Karambit. I would have to do some testing on that, but I'm assuming it's probably the same for mobility. It's the only two melees in the game that don't have a negative mobility. So, there's that. They also added some other new stuff. So they've added 3 new vests. They've added the compression carrier. Basically, the compression carrier is basically just an EOD and quick fix hybrid carrier plate, which is nice if you're someone who doesn't mind losing a field upgrade and a gear slot. This is not a terrible option for someone who's playing OBJ. But if you're someone who's going for long kill streaks, then this is not your option. I'm going to be real with you. It's not your option. The modular assault rig is another new one. This is basically has scavenger built in. That's pretty much it. It can resupply lethals and tacticals from dead players, and you get max ammo when you start in. So it's kind of like, I think the gunner vest also does this. It gives max ammo off rip. So it's kind of like a scavenger and gunner vest hybrid as well. So if you're someone, again, who doesn't mind, if you're someone, actually, I shouldn't say, if you're someone who likes going on longer kill streaks, this might honestly be a better option for you than, say, the other vests in the game. Just simply for the fact that you do get that field upgrade that you can use something like a trophy or something on, or dead silence or something. But obviously you do lose a gear slot. So you'll have to decide if you want to run like EOD and tactical mask, or whatever else you run, or like ghost, whatever it may be. So that is something to keep in mind. Then you have the gunslinger vest. So now this is the third this is the third vest that affects what weapons you can run. So the gunslinger gives you 2 secondary weapons. The overkill vest gives you either a secondary and a secondary, or a primary and primary. Then the the gunner vest gives you a primary and a primary. So there's a vest to give you either primary and primary, or secondary, or a vest that will give you both. Because why not, bro? Why not? Just keep adding it. But this also refreshes your stamina after a primary, secondary, or throwing knife kill, or star kill if you're using the throwing stars. You get an improved reload speed, and you can reload while sprinting, so you basically get two glove perks in there. So this could actually be a really good, solid vest to run. You also get 2 gears and a boots too, and you get your field upgrade, and you get 2 tacticals, and you get a lethal. So this actually might be the best vest in the game, especially if you're a guy who's a pistol person like I am. Like, I enjoy using pistols, so even when I'm done the Ultra Mastery for MW2, I see myself probably running this vest at least on one of my class setups, being a pistol only class setup with this build, with this vest, because this honestly is not a terrible vest in any means. And by the way, you can have this vest activated and then have your buddy drop guns. Like, you can just have him kill himself or whatever through a grenade, and he can just pick up his primaries, right? And then you would have primaries with this vest. Obviously, you would lose them on death or anything, but it's always an option as well. We also got a new glove. No, we didn't get a new glove. It's a new boots. We got the called reinforced boots, basically immune to movement reduction effects. Now, this is something I don't know about. I'm going to do some research on this over the coming weeks when we get more and more data on this. I have no idea what they mean by this. I don't know if they mean like the millisecond delays that they added to help with movements. I don't know if that will be a change by this. It doesn't give any description of what this does. It just says about movement reduction effects. Don't know what that is. I would like to have seen a boots that maybe had given of the climbing, when you climb, you like hang on stuff, like a de-hanging boots gear set. That would have been nice, or even a glove with the de-hanging boots, because that would have been fun. Because hanging on shit is annoying. But those are the new boots, reinforced. We also got a couple new gear sets. I think one of them's in here. I don't remember which one is it. They're saying there was 2 new gears, but I could be wrong. We got the high grain antenna. This is basically the CTC comms vest perks, but on a perk instead of the comms vest. So this is something to run if you're someone like me who I run CCC Comm Vest for everything. So if you normally run CCC Comm Vest, run this too, or run this instead of that if you want to run a different vest, because it basically gives you everything, I think, except for one or two small things it doesn't give you. But pretty much it gives you everything. So those are the new perks and vest. We also did get, if we go to challenges here and go to Army Unlocks, we did get a new scope as well. The X10 Intlas AS7, which is basically a sniper scope, but it has a built-in laser scope. Now this would make, I think, what, the third or fourth optic that's had a built-in laser. I think they did one for ACOG, I think there's one for thermal, red dot, and I think an iron sight one that does it, but I could be wrong. So there's a bunch of these now in the game. They just added a 6x scope instead. So this could actually, this might actually be the original Morris scope. I don't know. I haven't seen no footage of this yet, but it is a 6x, which would put it right around the same area as what the original Morris would be, around a 4, 5, 6x. So that could very well be it. Just depends until we see the reticle and see what that is. New weeklies are out as well. So if you're someone who grinds the weeklies like I do, the new weeklies are out. Right this week we have the Bruin aftermarket part. I'll be showcasing this in a later video. Then we also have the new camo. If it lets me show it, there it goes. Now this new camo is pretty fire, bruh. I ain't gonna lie. This gives me major throwbacks to like Infinite Warfare and that style of camos where it's like static but moving at the same time. I really enjoy this style. It brings back a lot of memories, and so it looks really sick. It's really sick overall. But yeah, that's the new weekly rewards. This will be available here in 8 weeks, so you have 8 weeks to grind these out. And yeah, that's the weekly. And then the new maps we have also is called Emergency. This is a pretty small map overall. I'm really liking the maps, by the way, this season. This is honestly all I've wanted from this game, was to really get comfortable with how their movement is. Once you get comfortable with the movement in this game, if they would just get the maps comfortable with the movement like you are, they would be so much better. And these maps are perfect proof of that. 6 stars, also another super small map. Gives me major Black Ops 3 vibes. I don't know if anyone else played this map, but it gives me like Black Ops 3, like Outlaw from Black Ops 2 remaster vibes with the buildings, and then like little courtyard with the pond, and then inside there's another like open core heart area. It's very eerily similar to Outlaw. Actually, I think it might be a 1-for-1 remake with some altercations, because it is eerily similar now that I'm thinking about it. Those are the 2 new maps that we have right now. But we are also getting another new map called Grow House here in a couple days. Then I think we're also getting 2 more maps in season. We're getting like 6 total maps this season, so we're getting a ton more maps yet. Grow House is going to be a good one. There is another map as well. I don't think it's in the game yet, but it's basically a map called Sphere from Vanguard being remastered, so that's going to be coming here as well. I don't think there's any new Ground Wars or Cutthroat maps or War Mode maps, which is interesting, to say the least, because I really thought War would get more maps added. Maybe War is just not as successful, I guess. But those are the new maps. There are also some slight changes to different things. Obviously, we have Rebirth in the game as well. I know I wasn't going to talk too much about Warzone, but I will mention that in this video, that Rebirth is a thing. Over here in Zombies, there's also some new stuff as well. Not really physical items, but some differences in how things work. So first off, the biggest thing is the XP, like the money you get from like exfilling, like money wise. You also gain that, but you gain that when you gain that and like leave and exfil. It also reduces your schematic time, I should notice as well. They said it does. Some people are saying it doesn't. I definitely took notice that my schematics, especially like my purple crystal, purple tool, and my orange tool, came back quicker after playing for a few hours, which seemed odd. So I do think it is partially added, but partially not. It's really hard to explain. I wouldn't know without testing it further, or how much essence affects it. I have like 40k, so maybe having like over a certain amount, it makes it go down quicker. Who knows? There's some of the things you get, by the way, for the battle pass, minus these 3 weapons right here and this 1 ray gun. But those 2 perk crystals, pack crystals, and that perk and that 1 ray gun were all from the battle pass, so that's something to take note as well. I don't think there's any new schematics quite yet, so keep that in mind. But yeah, that's pretty much it for zombies. Zombies is really lackluster at the current moment. There's not a whole lot going on over here. Obviously, there's the small things that were added last season that you can still do, like the containment level, which is like your exfil streak and stuff like that. Then obviously the mission from last season. I don't know why it's there. It goes. I'm hitting the wrong button like an idiot. But you can still do this contract mission if you haven't done it already. I haven't done it, but it's because I really just there's no reason to do this unless like you're just trying to get 100%. But that's pretty much it. Zombies didn't get a whole lot. We're supposed to be getting more stuff here in the coming seasons, but we'll see. The new calling cards for season 3 are also out. Here is the ones for, I believe, zombies and multiplayer. I don't know if yeah. So these are okay. Kind of lackluster. Again, they're not really kicking out of the park with the calling card situation. You can see season 1 wasn't terrible. At least in season 1 you got some moving calling cards, but the last 2 seasons have been kind of lackluster. No moving calling cards. Kind of disappointing. We also did get a new event coming, as you guys probably just saw that I went away from. We have starting in 1 day, so keep that in mind as well. See what else. Progression. The progression is now level 650, prestige 13. So I have about 162 levels until I can prestige again, be max rank again. So 162 levels isn't bad, because I'm already almost 40 levels in, so that's not too bad. Again, pretty lackluster icons. I'm really hating how they're just kind of reusing the same icons. If you go back to the seasons, they're all pretty much the same. First season was like a bear theme. This season, last season, seemed to be like what is that? An eagle, a hawk theme. This season seems to be I don't know if that's I want to say that might be a buffalo, or maybe I don't know, maybe like a cow, like a male cow, because I know male cows have horns too. But I think they're going for buffalo. I could be wrong. Let me know down below if you know what animal this is supposed to be. It might even be like a fucking goat. Who knows? I don't know what goat has big ass horns, but fuck it, bro. This is the reward for hitting level 650. Obviously, I'll be able to showcase this more once I unlock it. I'm actually really liking these prestige rewards for the final weapon, especially since they say prestige on them. But wasn't last season also a gun? I could have sworn. I know season 2 or season 1 was this one, but it won't show season 2. But I'm pretty sure season 2 was also a G36. I could be wrong. It'd be pretty funny if it was. But yeah, so that's pretty much everything in this season so far that I've seen. I know I said this is a review, but it's actually more of like a kind of a brief overview of everything that's here. This season's kind of been good but bad. I think I would rate this season like a solid 7 out of 10. Like, it's been really good for the majority of the season. There is some slight things I should notice too. Like, there is a little bit of lagginess throughout the game. I don't know why. It's just laggy. Like, I have 200 download, 120 upload. So I shouldn't be lagging, but for some reason I am, and I don't understand why. So that's kind of lame. We also do have double everything right now currently. There's also been increases to the additional XP boost active when you have a squad. I think it's up to 4 players. You get like a 30% of increase for XP for everything. So weapon, battle pass, and player. So that's really good, especially if you're someone who plays on a squad. And if you don't play with squads, definitely recommend getting your boys together and playing it as a squad, even if it's modes like infected or gun game. Even definitely play as a team because you get more XP, which is always nice. But that's pretty much it. Obviously, there's some new bundles. There's some cool ones in here, but nothing crazy at the current moment. But yeah. Oh, there's also a new Call of Duty pack, I believe, available as well. For PS Plus owners, if you're a PlayStation, you guys can get that for free. I think that's out now. If not, it'll be out mid-season. Also, if you didn't, well, I think it's still active, but I don't know if it was. I think it was only active for 24 hours, so there might be some time to still grab it. But in the store, there was a free like Warzone anniversary bundle that had like a ton of things. I think one of them was the ACR variant. I can show that real quick for you guys so that you have, if you didn't see it already, you can see it. But that was completely free. It gave a bunch of stickers. I think it gave some calling cards. I think it gave a charm, and then it obviously gave this right here, the well-traveled ACR blueprint. Pretty cool. This isn't the first time we've seen a Warzone anniversary skin. I think they had one for the M4 and MW2, I think, as well had one. But with that being said, that is everything that I think of that is new for this season. There are probably some tiny little things. Like the end, like for example, the stat thing on the top of the screen, the nat type is still broken. So just an FYI, everyone, that is still broke. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys think of anything I've missed, let me know down below. And if it's something that's worthwhile, I'll make a video on it. I will be live streaming probably this afternoon because this is, I think, Thursday, if I remember correctly. My days are all mixed up. Yeah, it's Thursday. So we'll be live around 2 to 3, starting point around 2 to 3 p.m. And then we'll be live till like 7 or 8. And yeah, it'll be a fun time. We'll be grinding, probably doing some search, dom, zombies, whatever we're kind of feeling like doing. I do want to hit containment level 100 probably by the end of the day today. So I only have like 40-something levels to go. So that's not too bad. But with that being said, boys, I love you guys. You're one of a kind. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.